2 years ago, I did an interview with Michael Salla, and frankly, I had completely forgotten about it. And he decided this week to release it. So I need to address it because there's a lot of chatter and there's a lot of attacking of JP. You know, I have people talking smack about me, but I'm so used to it, I don't give a shit anymore. So I'm telling you, I don't give a shit anymore. But as far as JP, I give a shit. This man has served his country honorably. He's had to leave the service on a medical, and no one has a right to criticize him. Now, let's talk about the interview. Um, I talked about a situation where he jumped out of his car and ran into the woods to see a UFO. Ladies and gentlemen, I talked to JP after that interview, and I got some things wrong. All right? I got some things wrong. And we talked about it, and I apologized to him for the things that I got wrong. But none of you would know that because the interview was never shown. Okay? And so it was between us. He did everything he was supposed to do with locking down the car, locking down his ordinances, his weapon. Exactly. He did everything right. I wouldn't have jumped out of the car and gone into the woods chasing a ship I didn't know, but that wasn't my call. That was his. But other than that, he did everything right. Okay. I'm the one who screwed up on the details. So I have to own that, and I do own it, and I take full responsibility for it. And I will publicly apologize to JP again, here and now, again, for that, because none of you were available the first time. And I also need to explain something to you. I I have more information now than I did then. My concerns then was for JP and his family. Now, I've come to know the young man, and I really appreciate the young man. I've met his family. They're absolutely wonderful people. I did not want him to be collateral damage because I know about collateral damage. Didn't want that to happen to him. So, but I had concerns about not necessarily all the Nordics, though that's how the presentation went down, but one particular group of Nordics. And I've been asked not to mention the name for a very good reason, and I'm not going to. But those of you who have followed me will know who I'm referring to, because my opinion of this particular group has not changed to this day. They were a group that was for hire, and they worked with the Nibiru. They were extremely integral in the then Giza intelligence that operated and worked with primarily Enlil. They had limited work and functioning with Ea, Enki, as we know him, but primarily they worked with Enlil. And their relationship with Terrans hasn't been a positive one for us. It hasn't been. Now, one of the things that has upset me is that they would do these benefactor things for humanity, and 3 generations later they would walk back that benevolence that they did for us. And there's an issue with that. Now, maybe they've changed their ways. Maybe they've evolved. Maybe that history is known to the other alliance races that are here helping us, and they're behaving. I don't know, but that's who I'm talking about, and I know some of you know exactly who I'm talking about. All right. Um, my position today is exactly what I stated a few weeks ago. I do not in any way believe for a minute that the Federation and the Alliance is compromised. I do not. So, what I thought then, my concerns then, are not my concerns now. I have a lot more information today than I had then. I am still not buying into the narrative that it's compromised. I want to make that perfectly clear to everyone. I do not for a second believe that the mission here, the mentoring that's occurring, is in any way compromised. Now, I have been asked to read something from a member of the force, and I'm going to read that to you now. There is some repetition, and I will be editing that out. But here's the message. The Intergalactic Confederation Cedar Group has been playing a major role in the evolution of humanity of Earth since times immemorial. The Intergalactic Confederation has loved humanity since the very beginning. They have protected humanity in the past and continue to love and support humanity. Many of their envoys are currently incarnated on Earth in order to actively support humanity in its next step in its evolution. The ancient space arcs left behind on Earth and in our solar system belong to the Intergalactic Confederation group. It has only been benefiting that it is only befitting that as the Intergalactic Confederation returned to the solar system, that they have been monitoring their ancient space arcs. The space arcs left behind on Earth and our soul belong to the. I'm sorry. Here's the repetition part. They have been monitoring their ancient space and spacecraft and placed them under their own care until the moment when humanity was and is ready to receive such precious gifts as the space arcs are in fact are. So there you go. That's who is maintaining and monitoring the arcs. That is who's taking possession. Are those who own the arcs, who probably built them in their particular star systems, and those arcs originated within their own civilizations. All right, so we can put all the other BS to rest. That's what's happening now, and I appreciate the force for throwing us a bone here, a crumb of information so that we can share it and add some clarity to all the different narratives that are out there. All right, so the arcs are in good hands. They're exactly where they need to be, and you're hearing it from source, from the force, and that's important. Now, and I appreciate them, and I appreciate everything that they're doing. We have guys on missions right now as we speak, and I would ask you to remember them. When you're doing your prayers or your meditations, just remember the men and women that are doing this, because they're doing this for all of humanity. They're away from their families. And in many cases, they're off world. Okay. And I know many of you don't know what that's like, but it can be scary at times. It can be scary.
If you would like to see the Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.